Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to tackle a skill that is absolutely essential for any modern web developer, pulling live data from the internet and bringing it right into your web pages. We're going to learn how to grab information from pretty much anywhere and use it to build some really dynamic, interactive experiences. So, let's get started.
Stop and think about it for a second. When you're scrolling your social media feed, or maybe you're watching sports scores update, the whole page doesn't do a full-on refresh every time, right? So, how does all that new information just appear? That is the exact question we are going to answer today.
Well, here's the secret sauce. Instead of reloading everything, your browser is actually using JavaScript to make these tiny, quiet requests in the background. It just asks a server for the new data it needs and then uses that data to update only the specific parts of the page that have changed. It's way more efficient, it's super fast, and we're about to break down exactly how you can do it too.
Okay, so before we can fetch any data, we need to understand the language that data is most likely written in. And on the web today, that language is, almost without a doubt, JSON. You can think of it as the universal translator for data that's zipping back and forth between servers and browsers.
The name really says it all. JavaScript Object Notation. It was specifically designed to look almost identical to a JavaScript object, which, as you can imagine, makes it incredibly easy for us to work with in our code. And the best part? It's just plain text. That means it's super lightweight and perfect for sending across the internet in a flash.
Let's just break this example down really quick. You can see it's all built on these key value pairs. And here's a key rule. Notice how the keys, like squad name, are always strings inside double quotes. The values, though, they can be anything. A string, a number like 29, a Boolean like true, or, and this is where the real power is, an array of other objects, just like we see here with members. That ability to nest data is what makes JSON so incredibly flexible. So, let's map out the actual journey our data is going to take. We're going to follow a single piece of information all the way from a server somewhere out there on the internet, through our JavaScript code, and finally, right onto our user's screen.
This is our roadmap. Just 4 simple steps. First, we'll ask for the data using a built-in tool called fetch. Second, we're going to make sure the server actually sent back what we wanted. Third, we translate that text-based JSON into a real JavaScript object. And finally, the fun part, we use that data to build out our web page. Let's dig into step 1.
So this is the Fetch API, and it's our main tool for this job. Now, those keywords, async and await, they're the real magic here. They basically tell our code, hey, this fetch call is going to take a moment, so just pause this function right here, let the rest of the browser do its thing, and only continue once you've heard back from the server. This is what prevents your web page from freezing up while it's waiting for data. It's absolutely crucial. Okay, so we've sent our request and we've gotten a response back. Great, but hold on, that doesn't automatically mean we have our data. A response could be a success, sure, but it could also be the server telling us, hey, I couldn't find that file, or oops, something went wrong on my end. We have to check.
Now, this is a super important point, and it trips up a lot of new developers. The fetch function will only fail if there's a network problem, like, your internet cuts out. Think about that. If the server successfully sends you back a 404 not found error, as far as fetch is concerned, that was a successful trip. So it's totally up to us to actually look inside the response and handle that error ourselves.
And the way we do that is by looking at something called the HTTP status code. The rules are pretty simple. If the code is in the 200s, that means success. Everything's great. If it's a 400 level error, that usually means the problem was on our end. Maybe we had a typo in the URL. And if it's a 500 level error, that means the server itself is having a problem. Thankfully, the fetch response gives us a really easy shortcut. You can see right here in the code, we can just check the response.ok property. This will simply be true for any successful status code in the 200s and false for everything else. This one simple if statement is the standard, foolproof way to catch any of those HTTP errors and stop our code from trying to process bad data.
All right, we've made our request. We've confirmed the response was successful. We are in the home stretch. Right now, all we have is a response body that's basically just a stream of text. So our next job is to convert that text into a real JavaScript object that we can actually use.
And the response object makes this unbelievably easy. We just call the .json method on it. Now, because this can also take a fraction of a second, we use await on the result. And that's it. That one line of code reads all the raw text from the response, parses it as JSON, and hands us back a perfectly usable JavaScript object. It's that simple. So here's a little side-by-side to show you what just happened.
On the left, that's the raw text string we got from the server. Notice the double quotes around the key squad name. But on the right, after we've parsed it, we have a true JavaScript object. The quotes around the key are gone because it's now a property, not a string. We've officially transformed it from just plain text into structured, usable data.
And now that we have a real JavaScript object, we can access its data just like we would with any other object. If we want the squad name, we just use dot notation, superheroes.squadName. If we want the name of the first hero in the list, we access the members array by its index and then grab the main property. It's the exact same syntax you already know and use in JavaScript.
So, we have successfully completed the journey from server to object. Now it's time for the big payoff. Using this object to dynamically create content and actually display it on our web page for everyone to see. This is where all our hard work becomes visible.
And this code right here brings it all home. We start by grabbing an element from our page, in this case, a section. Then we just loop through the members array that we got from our data. For each and every hero in that array, we dynamically create new HTML elements, we fill them with that hero's data, and then we just append them to our section. The key here is that the page never reloads. JavaScript is literally building new content on the fly.
And this is the end result. All of this content, the squad name, the hometown, that entire list of heroes, none of it was in the original HTML file. It was all pulled from our JSON file and rendered on the page by our JavaScript code. This right here is the heart of the modern interactive web. So, to quickly recap the whole process, JSON is our data format. We use fetch to go and get it. We always check response.ok to handle any errors. Then we use .json to parse that data into a JavaScript object. And from there, we can access that data just like any other object in our code.
You know, this skill is a genuine superpower. You can now connect to literally thousands of public APIs for weather, for movies, for maps, financial data, you name it. You can build incredible dashboards, interactive charts, or just make your own website way more interesting. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?